Hello everybody, welcome to That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge. Arsenal win to extend their lead at the top of the table, and Villa beat Man City, plunging them into a new crisis as well. But overarchingly, the Premier League this weekend, absolutely incredible. Look at Bournemouth and Sunderland in second and third. Look at the newly promoted teams, none of them in the bottom three. We're getting a brilliant Premier League season in relation to results. Okay, there might be some debate about, long balls and directness and set pieces, and the officiating is certainly shit. But we are getting an entertaining, league table, and to me the shocks outweigh the negatives. Arsenal, we'll talk about in a moment. They're looking unstoppable. It's there. I don't want to say this to Arsenal because, they haven't won a league for 20 years, but it's theirs to lose at the moment. I'm sure Arsenal fans will be looking at Bournemouth and Sunderland with respect, but with respect, they're 7 points ahead of Liverpool and they're 6 points ahead of Man City. That's a considerable gap after 9 games. Their next 2 games are Burnley and Sunderland, and Liverpool and Man City play each other then. If Arsenal can win the next 2 games, that gap's going to get bigger. So Arsenal in a fantastic position at the moment. People are going to moan about set piece FC and everything. They've conceded 3 goals in 9 games. For the second game in a row, I don't think somebody's had a shot on target. Okay, they're good at set pieces, right? But every team they play is parking the bus and they're finding a way to win. But every team they play aren't scoring against them either. So it's not just set pieces, is it? They're not sitting deep and, using a card for a set piece. They're trying to attack. Teams are playing compact and not attacking them. So, Arsenal in a way are a victim of how people are playing against them, and they're getting the job done. And the games might be dull, but they're getting the job done. So they're unstoppable at the moment. And as I said, 3 goals conceded in 9 games means that they're only conceding one goal every 3 games. I mean, that's incredible, and they are going to be on the route for the Chelsea defence in 04-05. It's incredible what they're doing defensively at the moment, and that deserves a big shout out. As for Manchester City, look, second year in a row they've been to Villa Park and lost. Keeping an eye on the game, I don't think they did enough to get a draw, and Villa deserved the win. And look, let's just talk about Man City, because last year they had a bad season. They managed to get top 4. This year Pep Guardiola stayed. I didn't think that would happen. And he's now building a new side. Apologies for my nose running. I've had a weird allergy reaction in the watch along. So, so Manchester City, I've got to say, look, Liverpool will take the headlines this weekend for club in crisis, of course. And Man City, I don't feel like a Man City in crisis video as a standalone really works. You've got to talk about everybody else as we will. But that's their 3rd loss in 9 games. So Man City, on one hand, Arsenal are conceding 1 goal every 3 games. And on the other hand, Man City are losing a game every 3 games. I mean, that's the contrast, isn't it? They're nowhere near. And Man City haven't suddenly become a club that it's excusable to be this bad. They're still the dominant force. They're still, they still spend money. They've still got Pep Guardiola. They've still got good players. And they're losing a game every 3 games. Deservedly. They've deserved to lose every game that they've played. 3 losses in 9 games is not title-winning form. And that performance today is not title-winning form. They played on Tuesday in the Champions League. Villa played on Thursday away from home and lost. And then they're playing on Sunday and beating Man City. I don't think that's acceptable from Man City today. Their over-reliance on Haaland was in full force today. Haaland is brilliant. He's one of the best strikers in the world at the moment. But if you shut him down, where's everybody else? And everyone else needs to look at themselves there, because it was a great goal by Matty Cash. But the question I would have at the moment is who is going to push Arsenal for this title? Because a little bit like Liverpool last year, although you can't say it, and Liverpool fans didn't want it last year and Arsenal fans won't want it now, I think you're going to walk this title. I really do. You have this ability to not concede and score every game. And that in itself is going to be really difficult for people to live with when they're so inconsistent. Man City are inconsistent, Liverpool are inconsistent, Chelsea are consistent. You telling me that the title challenge for Arsenal is going to be Bournemouth or Sunderland or Man United or Villa? It's not. Everybody else is really inconsistent, and Arsenal are ridiculously consistent. So not only do I think they're going to win the league, I think we're in danger of them running away with the league. They might have it, like Liverpool did last year. So that's the challenge at the moment. Can anybody actually give Arsenal a race? And I was thinking last night it might be Man City. Go and win at Villa, beat Liverpool in a couple of weeks. You'll be within 3 points of Arsenal. We've got a title race. At the moment, it's looking very much like Arsenal are going to run away with it, because Man City do not look like a title contender and Liverpool certainly don't. So unless Bournemouth are going to pull off a madness, which, I don't think anyone's going to bet on that. But look, fantastic from Arsenal, not good enough for Man City. Give me your thoughts on that. In relation to the rest of the league, look at how congested it is in the top. And I'm not just talking about my nose. I'm talking about Bournemouth, Sunderland. Man United are up into 5th. If Spurs win at Everton, they could be in the top 4 again. Villa are on the rise. Newcastle won yesterday. They're not even in the top 10. Chelsea losing yesterday. It's just so unpredictable. There are so many games every week now that you're looking at it and going, what's this weekend going to throw up? So it's been a good weekend for Arsenal. It's been a good weekend for Bournemouth and Sunderland and Man United. But, Liverpool, Man City and Chelsea all losing. It's not the consistency we expected. I look at the summer and I went, look at the money Arsenal and Liverpool have spent. Look at the money Man City and Chelsea have spent. I really did think they're going to run away with top 4. And whilst Arsenal are running away with first place, the rest of the other 3 are really, really struggling for consistency. And I think it's going to be fascinating to see this intensity that these teams who are not in Europe are bringing. Can they continue to do it? Or will they basically devour each other? But I think the big question at the moment is, can anybody compete with Arsenal? And when will Arsenal concede a goal, let alone lose a game? Because at the moment, they just look very, very, very good. And they've got an amazing depth of talent. Saliba went off at half-time and Mascara comes on and does really, really well. They've had Saka out for a period of time and Madueke did well. Odegaard's not played most of the season and Eze's done really well. In another way, you could talk about Gyökeres not scoring many goals, but it doesn't really matter. Arsenal are about winning the league and maybe winning the Champions League. And at the moment, they just look very, very, very strong. So Arsenal, the big winners of the weekend. Obviously, I think Man United, Bournemouth, Sunderland have had a great weekend as well. But the team at the top, Chelsea lose, Man City lose, Liverpool lose, Man City and Arsenal win. That's the perfect weekend for Arsenal. And, fair play. It's down to everybody else to find a way of beating them. Get your comments in below. Make sure you smash a like on the video. And I'll speak to you on the next one.